Alright guys, Fearless95 here, and we're going to do a quick tutorial in Photoshop, and we're going to be making a YouTube logo. So let's get started. First of all, you might want to name the file you're making. Just make it a lot easier when you want to save it, so you don't have to faff around when you're saving it. For these guys, I'm going to be using the width 800 pixels by 800 pixels. Normally YouTube will shrink it if it's too big, or it'll make it bigger if it's not. So once we've started, we want to go into double click the lock on the background layer and then make it layer 0. You want to create a new layer and delete the background layer. I do this. You can keep the background if you want and put a gradient tool or a gradient overlay over it, but I tend to do this. Yeah, so first start by doing a border. So what you want to do is hold the shift, well, we want to click the pen tool first, and then you want to click shift, well, you want to hold shift down, then you want to click down the page, and just basically do what I'm doing right now. Just quickly rush through this border. Should do. Right. And then once you've done this, guys, you want to right click and click make selection. Doesn't matter about the feather radius, I normally leave it to 0. Click OK, and now you'll see that the border around is highlighted, but it's in the wrong way, because if we fill it, you see it fills the inside. So what we want to do, guys, is click Control, Shift and I, which now inverts the selection, so now we can fill it in and it'll be on the outside. So once you've got your border, guys, what you want to do is double click to bring up the layer styles. You can also right click and click on blending options. And what I like to do is drop shadow, outer glow, bevel and emboss, contour, gradient overlay and stroke. And then my settings vary. I normally keep the stroke quite low, to about 5. Gradient overlay, change to any colour you want. For blue this time. It's a nice colour blue. Make a bit white, a bit darker. Okay, and then for my contour, I normally change the range a bit. About 50, we'll say 50%. Oops, I'm going to do that. And then if we go to bevel and emboss, change the depth to make it look more of a border than a bit. Okay, so once you've done that, you want to create a new layer and drag it underneath the layer that you've made for the border. And this can be our background layer. So what we want to do is grab the gradient tool and we'll make it a radial gradient, and then what we can do is double click at the top, double click on the colour swatch, and then we can get what colour we want for the background. We'll go with slightly darker blue this time. We'll send it to black. See how that looks. Oop. That looks slightly alright. So then once we've created this layer, we want to create a layer above the layer we've just created for the background. Then I'm going to go on Google and get an image for what I want on the... Hold on a sec, guys. So once we're on Google, we're going to go to a site called Planet Renders. Many of you people have heard this before. Can't spell. There we go. Now when you want to save a render from this, you need to sign up for an account, so basically you can get the maximum size for the render you want. Hold on guys, my computer's been a bit slow. There we go. So I'm going to type in World of Warcraft, for example. and probably going to choose this one. Sign in. Now, as I was saying, if you don't sign in, you will be able to get the picture up like this, and this allows you to save it from, well, it allows you to save it fully. Come on. As well. Okay, now we go back to Photoshop and we click File, Open, and you look for the JPEG file you've just downloaded. Now you see we've got this like logo thing, so we're going to just grab the lasso tool and just go around it and delete it. There you go. And then we're going to right click, duplicate the layer, and then we're going to move it to the YouTube logo or whatever your document's called. Now once that's in here, you can move it around and manipulate it. So what I'm going to do is turn the opacity down a bit. Change the I don't know what you call this. The what should we call it? Right, I'm back. So once you've done that, you might want to create another layer. Sorry, font. And on this we're going to write your name. So for me, we're going to select the font you want as well. A good font site I use is called dafont.com, and there's a whole range of different fonts that you like, but I've got my own, so let me have a look for that. There it is. And simply, oops, let's make it a bit bigger so you guys can see it. Oops. You know, try holding shift. Oh god, what's on my text? Type your name. Then if you press Ctrl T, it'll bring this like box around it, so you can hold shift and it'll keep it in line all the way down. So you shrink it till what you want. I'm going to put it above the head. Then we're going to bring up blending options again. We're going to click drop shadow, outer glow, bevel, contour, but take the contour range right up this time. Gradient, and in fact I'm going to go for a colour overlay, and then I'm going to have a stroke. But I'm going to turn the stroke down until we get like this sort of mixture between half shadowy and kind of half glowing. And I'm going to change my colour overlay to kind of that colour because it goes in with the theme. Oh yeah, bevel and emboss, we're going to make the depth. I'm going to put 250%. I'm going to make the size about 75 pixels. I'm going to soften it slightly to about 6 pixels. I'm going to click OK, and then what I've got is, if you go on Google, I think you can get this from images. Let me find it. I might put it in shit folder. There is. If you type in Google something like lightning strike with a black background, and then what we're going to do is do the same as we did before with the picture. We're going to duplicate it to the YouTube logo, and then what we're going to do is what I'm going to do is put it in the corner. I'm going to make one on each side, and if we put it over the top of everything, what we can do is sorry. You can put screen on, and seeing as it's quite a dark background already, we don't have to mess about with cutting it out and everything. So what I've done here is I've clicked Ctrl J on the layer, that's made a copy, and what we're going to do is drag it to the other side. I'm going to rotate it again to make it so it's near the corner. I don't like that. I'm going to drag it to the bottom corner. That's better. Let's just shrink this a bit. There we go. Not long we've been doing it. 11 minutes, we should be alright for another 4. Yeah, and then I'm going to put let's have a look. I'm going to put some fire in here. I think it's on here. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a. Let's have a look. Sort of a tiled texture. Looks a bit like that over the whole. Actually, I'm going to put it on the background. So if I drag it down, and then if we click between 2 layers, if we hold Alt and then between the 2 layers we see these white and black like dots. I'm going to click on that, and then we're going to change the blending mode to overlay, and that should give it this kind of stony texture. And then what I'm going to do is turn the opacity down just a little bit, just so we can just see it. And yeah, I think I'm done. So I'm going to save it on my desktop, and then file, save as. No, we'll save it as a JPEG file, and we'll turn it right up to maximum. Okay. Go on my desktop, and there's your final product. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, and tune in for the next video. Thank you.